made a box of donuts, sold them to
Wow.
my mate Rupert. And then we started doing markets and events, and we made like $5,500 in a weekend. And I was like, we've just made a yearly salary. I've just made all the money I make in a year in a weekend. The truth behind it was that I started paying myself loads. When I got a Ferrari, everything I did back then was for everyone else.
What's going on, guys? I'm here today with Wade Smith, who is the owner and CEO of Doughnotts. Doughnotts is a donut company, and all the donuts are handmade, and these guys produce 19,000 donuts every single week. Last year, you guys made £2 million in sales, and this year you're on track to make £2.7 million worth of donuts in the year. So, wow. But you're from Nottingham as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess one thing what people really would love to know is, how did you get started? How did you start this company? Yeah.
So it kind of started, 2015. So I was an apprentice in, so I worked in a care home. I left college, I worked in a care home for 2 years. Looked around, I was kind of like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. And my mum's disabled, and I looked after my mum ever since I was a kid anyway. So it kind of just comes second nature. Dead easy job to get into. So I just got into it, got a bit of money behind me. I think it was like, back then it was like £1,200 a month he was getting, but I lived with my grandparents, so you know, your money's your money, innit? And then I got offered an apprenticeship with my uncle who was a joiner, because that's all I had it going into. Like, everyone was drilling it into me, get a trade. Got my apprenticeship, and he said that, by law, because you're over the age of 18, we have to pay you minimum wage for your apprenticeship. And I was like, fucking hell, these boys do 50 hours a week. I'm going to be learning on the job. I'm getting paid more money. I'm getting a trade. Like, I've done it. This is my life. So I left my full-time job. So buzzed about it. Anyway, on my second day, he comes up to me and he says, he says, there's been a problem. We can't pay you minimum wage. And I was like, oh, and he was like, because you're an apprentice, we can't afford to pay you minimum wage and basically pay you like what, £6-7 an hour back what it was back then, to just sweep up. He was like, we can't. He says, and by law, we're allowed to pay you the minimum wage, which is like £2.50. So I'd gone from a full-time job into this other full-time apprenticeship, and I was like, fucking hell. And then I was like, right, okay, I've just got to sink my teeth in. Like, I've got to graft it out for a year. Like, after the year, your money goes up, everything's going to be good. Throughout that year, they weren't really showing me much. I was just kind of sweeping, making tea, and I'd go on jobs with them, but I'd do all stuff like sanding and things like that. I wasn't really learning the trade. They were sending me to college and stuff, but it was like a cabinet maker's course. So where the course was at college, you had the cabinet maker's course, and then next to it, you had the joinery course where they were making windows and doors. Well, that's what my uncle did. But his idea was that if I can make a cabinet, I can make a door. It's a completely different thing. Got through that anyway, came on to my second year. I'd obviously finished college, so I was working with him full-time for like 6 weeks. And he said, and I says, look, Mick, I'm going into my second year. Now I can like do a few jobs for people. I'm gonna, I wanted to get a bigger car, and if someone needs a door hanging, I can put the door in the back of the car, go hang it for them, make a bit of money on the side. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go do that. Yeah, we'll show you how to do stuff. When I got his car on finance, which was like £300 a month, I was on £400 a month as an apprentice. And then he turned around and he was like, "We're not." When I got the car, he was like, "We're not taking you on."
Damn.
Yeah, so I was kind of
left you in the shit.
Yeah. Caused a big uproar with the family. Like, we're fine now. I get it. I get why he did it. I'm in business now. I really do fucking understand. I actually wrote him a letter a couple of years ago and posted it to him, explaining to him that there's no hard feelings. And I understand, because I've never had to do something like that, and I wouldn't do something like that. But I also understand that if his business was at like a clinch point, I'd probably do the same or do something similar. And then made me redundant. And then I went to Baseford Hall College to do, because I was like, I need another joinery apprenticeship. And the woman turned around to me and she says, well, the problem is, if a joinery firm is going to take you on, they're not going to pay you. You're going to have to start your apprenticeship again. So you're still going to be on this £400 a month. So I was like, for fuck's sake. So I was like, right, okay. And then she turned around to me. She was like, I don't really think that you want to do it. She was like, I think you're good at talking to people. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, you can talk to people. She was like, we've just had a full-on conversation. I've never met you before, and I know everything about you. And then she ended up saying, why don't you get into marketing? So that's just talking to people and like pushing brands and stuff. So then I got an apprenticeship. So then there was an apprenticeship for Central College in the marketing department. So she was like, why don't you apply for that? So I jumped in my car and I drove straight to the college, and I just went in there and I was like, can I speak to the marketing manager? And I just sat down with him, and I just told him my story about like what's happening. 2 weeks later, I gets a phone call. We'd love you to take the job. And I thought, fucking, I'm finally getting it. Still on the 400 quid a month, but I thought I'm gonna do something I love. Do you know what I mean?
How old was you at that point?
I was probably 20. I was probably 21. Yeah, 21.
Okay.
And obviously at that time, all my mates are going out every weekend. They're all going on like lads' holidays and stuff. I did none of that. I literally did nothing. Like, 'cause I never had the money to do it. And I come from a family of grafters, and they're like, just stick at it. Like, you get it. You know what I mean? Like, you get what you want. Kept doing it. And then money basically started running out. And I was with Megan at the time, who's my business partner now. And Meg was going through something similar. She was working at Next, not getting a lot of hours. And we just broke. Do you know what I mean? We were just broke, and, you know, you didn't see any light at the end of the tunnel. And we were just watching a program, and it was like on the Food Network, and it was Man versus Food. And they went to a donut shop, and we ate this massive donut. I kind of sat there and I was like, I could do that. I was like, I could make that. She was like, you can't. I was like, I can. And then that day, my grandma borrowed me a tenner to go put some fuel in my car to get to and from work. And I just brought something. I went to Sainsbury's in Ruddington, brought some ingredients, and then made a box of donuts, sold them to my mate Rupert. And then he brought the first box, 12 donuts, like 10 quid. Kind of sat there and I was like, fucking hell, I was like, done this. Then me and Meg sat down and we was like, yeah, let's do this. Started doing it, put it out there to people. We actually found the original post. The new store that's opening in Beeston is going to have like loads of pictures up of like highlights of, or just a wall full of pictures of like monumental moments, like a timeline. So like the first donuts we made and everything like that. And then we just gave it a go. Started selling on Facebook to friends. Same as any food business now. You usually start in your kitchen, your mates buy it off you and stuff, but then that runs out. And then we started doing markets and events, and we did the Nottingham Food and Drink Festival, which they don't do anymore, which they should do, because it'd be great for independent food businesses. But we did it, and we made like $5,500 in a weekend.
Damn.
And I was like, we've just made a yearly salary. I've just made all the money I'm making a year in a weekend. This is what we could do. I was like, even if we did this like once every 2 weeks, still way more money than you would have got working for someone. Meg quit a job, and then she went full time with it, managing all the Facebook and stuff whilst I was still working. And I quit my job and just went full head with it. Wow. It's kind of weird talking about your story and that, because, you know, when you go through shit, you forget about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So wait, just to take a step back. So the first donut that you made for your friends, what did it taste like? Was it the 10 donuts that we get now?
No, garbage. It was fucking terrible. If you go into the Nottingham store, you can find there's the wok on the wall that I used to fry the donuts. Fried in vegetable oil. You shouldn't fry donuts in vegetable oil because it just drains out of it into the box. But the thing is with oil and fats is that's what flavour is. Okay. So it was really flavourful. Do you know what I mean? And stuff. They were garbage. And I was really like, baking is not about being right. Baking is about being patient, and I'm really not. And I was like proving them up and stuff. And to the point when we were starting the company, we had fruit and veg trays with donuts cut out, and they were proving in front of the radiator. And now we have like provers that are length of this wall that are.
So what's a prover?
So it's just a big cabinet. It's just a big metal box, and it's got humidity, steaming, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like a sauna. Basically.
So they have to be a certain temperature to get perfect.
So the yeast has to come alive, start eating the sugar, releasing the oxygen, and then that's what makes the donut grow.
So for those of you that haven't tried donuts, definitely check them out. I actually had a donuts addiction at one point. I was eating them every single day at one point. They're so nice. Yeah. When I'm on a cheat day, because obviously I do gym and stuff, when I'm on a cheat day, that's like my go-to thing. But one question I've got is, how did you perfect the donut?
So we kept working on it and stuff, and it's like anything, you just get better and better and better at it. And, you know, I started watching, there's a donut company in New York, and it's called the Peter Pan Donut Shop, and it was the donut shop that was on the Spider-Man film. Okay. And they've got a video on YouTube of how a day in the life of a baker, and it's no instructions or anything. It's just a day in the life of the woman's son who works there, going in and making donuts. And I was just kind of looking at how he, you know, the shape of it, like how he's handling it, what it should look like, and I watched that probably 1,000 times. Wow. And it was crazy. Like third year of business, we actually went to New York and went to this place, and it was so surreal. Like I sat down with a woman, and I was like, "You don't understand that you've built a business. You helped me build my business." And she says, "Do you want to make some donuts?" And I went in the back and started making some donuts there, which is crazy.
So Doughnotts is kind of inspired by this New York company which makes donuts. So each donut is completely handmade.
Handmade.
So how do you actually make donuts?
So we obviously make our dough, pull it out the mixer, let it rest, loaf it. So like, there's a lot of terms that we use in baking that people kind of sit there like, loafing it is where you scale it up to like a 9 kilogram ball.
Okay.
So you know when you see people making like bread at home and they've got this like little dough ball like that and you're kneading them, but we have like 9, 10, 11 kilo balls that are like this big. Wow. So our baker's like mashing through this dough all day, and then we pin it. So we roll it out and then hand cut it, put it in a prover and fry it.
Wow. Okay.
And then our bakery runs like a production line. It starts here, raw ingredients, then comes up and it's finished here and then packed.
So how many shops have you currently got at the moment?
So we've got 8 at the minute, 9 sites including the bakery. And then we've got 2 more opening. We did have 3 more opening, but we cancelled that because it's just, we're just not a good feeling about it. Best advice I ever got in business was, if it's not a definite yes, it's a no. If you don't sit there and go, yeah, I want that, because if you sit there and go, oh, is it going to work? You go, actually, it's probably not. Your body's got this weird way of like predicting bad stuff coming. Do you know what I mean?
So are all the stores, are they all in Nottingham?
No. So we've got Nottingham, Leicester, Lincoln, Beeston, East Midlands Designer Outlet, West Midlands Designer Outlet, and then Bullring. How many is that? Nottingham, Leicester, Lincoln, Beeston, Giltbrook, East and West Mids. I think there's 8.
Roughly 8.
Yeah, I think there's 8 shops. Yeah. I think there's going to be 10. It'll be 10.
So how I used to get my donuts is I used to order them on Deliveroo.
Yeah.
Is that something you do across the board? So all the stores?
Yeah. The thing is, like, Deliveroo was great, and I was actually talking to Ollie about this, who owns Oscar and Rosie, because he's shutting his business. And we were talking about it, and he was saying that Deliveroo is really expensive. Like, it costs the customer a lot of money. It costs us a lot of money. And it's just not the same as what it used to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, you sign up to this stuff and they give you these amazing fees of like, yeah, we'll take 10%. And then fucking year 3, they're like 35%. And you're
really?
Like, yeah. And, you know, it's like Too Good To Go. Have you seen Too Good To Go?
No.
That's like, it's good. The idea is great. Like, don't throw your stuff in the bin. But the problem is people wait for it. People wait till 4:30 and then you put a bag of donuts on thingy for £5 and they come in and buy them. They're not going to buy them in the shops, are they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what the downside to those kind of things. Do you know what I mean?
So out of the 19,000 donuts that you guys make every week, how many would you say you sell per week roughly?
So we sell probably about 16,000 a week.
Okay.
Probably more. My finance manager deals with all that and production, but probably more. We work on about a 3% waste every year, which is great for food.
Yeah.
You know, and we're big advocates in, you know, data. It's all about data. Do you know what I mean? Whether, like, last Monday, what was the weather like? You know, how many donuts did we sell? Was there something going on in Nottingham City Centre, or you know? But you miss stuff like Bullring the other day. The new Fast and Furious. It was like their final stop was at Bullring, and we missed it, and it was dead busy, and Bullring sold out. And it's like, but you can't predict that. You know, you can't. But that's the thing of bringing this new senior marketing manager in, of someone who's going to find all these things and just do it. Do you know what I mean?
So when did you found, sorry, let me rephrase that. When did you actually start Doughnotts?
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
So you've been going for roughly about 8 years now?
Yeah. 8, 9 years. Yeah. It's been a whirlwind. Like, you know, it's so crazy when you start a business like Doughnotts, because at the beginning, it's just a job. You just created yourself a job, and it's great. You go from fucking 400 quid a month to like 2.5 grand a month, and you fucking buzzing, and you know, you've got loads of money, and you can live. And then it's like, right, we need to like upscale and stuff, and we need to like get more shops. And if I'm being deadly honest, like, we probably didn't know what we was doing up until about 2 years ago, until we really had to sit and go, right. And that was COVID. COVID turned us into businessmen. Do you know what I mean? Businessmen and businesswomen. Because pre-COVID, we had a lot of problems. Like, we were gearing up for a big expansion, we had like £500,000 in the bank, and we was like, right, it costs us generally 50 grand to fit out a shop. So I was like, right, we can, Nottingham store was doing 18, 19 grand a week, and you're fucking buzzing, you got loads of cash. There was no budgets and stuff though back then, no wage budgets, no people, like 1 month the wages would be 7 grand, the next month they'd be 9 grand, and no one was going, fucking hell, why is it 9 grand? Do you know what I mean? And then so we got a big 8,000 square foot unit just to show. We kitted it out to be a bakery, spent 400 grand on it, and then opened it. 2 weeks later, COVID shut the business for 2 years. And then we were like, fucking hell, like, we've got no money. Like, and we worked it out and was like, right, we can pay every member of staff £100 a week for like the next year. That's how much money we had. That's without me and Meg taking a penny. So they went, and obviously then next day they released that they were going to do furlough and stuff, but everyone was like, oh, furlough saved us. Company directors, yeah, it did save companies, but what they didn't tell you is that you've got to pay that out and then claim that back. So it was it was a nightmare.
Nightmare
do you know what
for
I mean?
cash flow as
yeah,
well.
yeah, especially if you've not got much coming in.
Yeah.
And then we ended up getting, and then that was that. We took out the fucking business grants and got the loans and stuff, just like what everyone did. It's fucking people now though, because people were taking them out and then having put an extension on their ass and stuff, and it's like, oh great, you're just not meant for that. And that's what kills me about it all, really, because it was meant to keep business alive.
Yeah.
People going buying brand new cars and stuff. It's like, do you know what I mean?
We saw a lot of that.
Yeah, loads, mate, like loads, especially like self-employed, like tradesmen and stuff, who had like, limited companies. Do you know what I mean? They were just
bounce back loans.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, the thing is, the interest rate was that good that you're never going to get that anyway.
It was like 1%, wasn't it?
Yeah, so everyone needed to do it. Even people who didn't do it. There was a lot of companies who were claiming staff were on furlough and they fucking weren't, and it was just a crazy time. But then we got through it.
Was you still actively selling donuts during Corona?
Yeah, we had about
during the lockdown.
Yeah, we had about 2 months off, and then we ended up getting 2 months off, and it was just stressing us out. Like I needed to be at work, so I was going in every day and stuff. So I started a cookie company in lockdown.
Which are 10-10, by the way.
Yeah, no. They tried.
Is it called
Sideline?
Sideline
Yeah,
cookies.
yeah, because it was just
Fire.
a fucking sideline thing.
Try these guys if they're still available. Try them.
They're on. I'm trying to bring them back, but again, it's just you're producing 19,000 donuts a week. Bakers ain't got time to do fucking to do that. But then started that. Brought my house with it. Like just fucking. It's like it was like £10 a box, and we were selling. We were having like 500 orders a week, and I had like all this cash, and I was like, fucking hell, I've saved the company. Do you know what I mean? And then we did that, and then that just kind of fizzled out a bit. A lot of people are crying out for it still, but
I'm crying out.
But it's hard to do that now, like because you don't want to put too much on your staff. You know what I mean? It is like you can have like a production thing where it's like, right, you're on donuts till this time, then you're on cookies, but people are just. People go up and down, do you know what I mean? They get tired and stuff, do you know what I mean? But yeah, and did that, and then we opened up like for delivery boxes, Deliveroo and stuff, and like everyone's like, oh yeah, you can do shipping boxes, and you're like, yeah, it's a great idea, but you're charging 20 quid for a box of donuts, and it costs you £12.50 to send them, making like what, £7.50, and it's just like that's not going to save your company. And then we got through it, and we did it.
So you were still selling through, obviously, word of mouth and through delivery, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
So that kept you guys going a bit?
Kept us going and stuff. We had a marketing manager back then who was really good, who is considering coming back. We did all that, and we just did it.
Yeah. So what was like the pivotal moment for Doughnotts as a company?
I suppose the pivotal moment was probably last year, where we've got like Doughnotts now has got like 3 accountants. Like they come meet us every month and they sort of strategize with us and tell us what's good, what's bad. You're spending too much on this or not enough on this. And my accountant rang me, Jack. He's an amazing accountant. I send everyone to him. Like he's gold. Young. He's my age. He works for a big company. He's got a lot of ideas, but this company's pretty much set in their ways. They make a lot of money anyway. And he just said to me, he was like, I need to have a chat with you because things aren't looking good. And we were like 100 grand in debt. And he was like, you can't operate like this. It was like, something's wrong. And we pulled it out and we finished last year. We did it in 6 months. We finished last year at, I think it was like 200K profit. So in 6 months, we'd made 300K profit to get us out the 100 and stuff like that. And that was kind of a real a real thing for us, where we kind of sat there and was like, fucking hell, we can do this. Do you know what I mean? Like this is you know, we can beat any obstacle. Do you know what I mean?
So how did you get over that hurdle of going from 100K in debt to now, you know, you've paid off that 100K and now you're up 200? What was the changes that you made?
We just started working, man. We just started like it just wasn't, you know, I kind of went through a pretty serious breakup, took my eye off the ball. Meg left the company for a bit, and we just kind of, you know, like I talk about it all the time. Like business is like, you know, staff are like, you know, like a pack of huskies that's pulling a sled. 1 minute, the minute one of them fucking starts fucking around, they all fucking fuck about, and you just stop. You need to keep them all in line and keep going and going and going, and then that's what was happening. There was just a pack of huskies going mad. Do you know what I mean? People spending too much, you know, not focusing on sales. We're really trying to transition into this thing at the minute where, because we're such a, I mean, we're not a large company. I mean, we're decent size, but you know, you're classed as a small business until you turn over 20 mil. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And we're just at a point where we deal with so many problems on a daily basis. I'll say the first 4 hours of the day is problem solving.
I know the feeling.
Oh man! And the thing is, like, I have no problem solving problems. I don't. I love it. But the thing is, if I solve it once, we've now got a system in place for if that ever happens again. So we never need to talk about it. We just pull out this document and go, "That's what we do if this happens again." Do you know what I mean? And you know, we're now, like, last week was all about saving money for the company, and I think we saved something like 160K a year last week.
Wow.
Just on changing and standardizing rotors.
Wow.
You know, you have a high grossing store, it should cost this much in staff. You have a low grossing store, it should cost this much. And we have now 4 master rotors that we just go, you do that. Just give it to a store manager when you open and go, there's your rotor, you're done.
So just by systemizing the company better,
yeah,
you've then saved a massive chunk of you know, capital.
And this is nothing. Like, this was nothing that no one brought to my attention. This was something where I was like, I went to Bullring, and there was 4 members of staff on it. And I kind of like do this thing where I kind of like, you know, if I go to the shops and stuff, I kind of like hang around and so they can't see and stuff. And I just like pop out like that. And I'm like, oh look, why are you on your phone? You know what I mean? And and that was that. I did it, and you know, it caused uproar. Didn't mean like people like, I'm going to lose staff, I've got to get rid of staff. I was like, you haven't. Like, you can just do this. Like, just, it's fine. Like, everyone's just going to get
just change the rotor.
Yeah, change the rotor and never come to me about it again. It's done now.
Yeah.
If you have an extreme circumstance where you, I don't know, say if there's a big event on in Nottingham and we're going to be super busy, defo get another member of staff in. Do you know what I mean? But the minute I walk in and see people not doing anything, I'm obviously going to say something. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, cool. So what's the typical amount of staff you'd have in one store?
So this is why we changed it all. So Monday to Friday, it'd be 2 members of staff. I don't care whether there's 2 members of staff all day or 20 members of staff all day. I only want to pay for 2 people per hour. That's it, because they don't need any more than that. So you could have, on an 8-hour day, you could have, I don't know, you could have 4 people doing a 4-hour shift. That's fine. I don't want to pay more than that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's 2 Monday to Friday, Saturday 3, depending on the size of the store, Sunday 2.
Yeah, because I've been into the store before in Nottingham, in the city centre of Nottingham, and there's been times where there's been a big queue. The good thing is, though, the queue dies down fast. Because it's efficient. The staff are very polite. They're on point. And they're fast.
See, this is the thing as well. Like, it's almost, you have to kind of give the managers a bit of a reality check and go, you know, they were like, oh, we need to get the queue down faster and stuff. And it's like, if you walked into, I don't know, Cafe Nero, and you order a coffee and you order, I don't know, a pastry or something, you're waiting 5 minutes. You don't know our place. And queues actually attract people. You know, crowds attract people. So sometimes it's good to kind of just, you know, ease off, have a chat with them. How's your day? You know what I mean? You've been shopping, or what you brought. Do you know what I mean? It's all sales tactics, basically.
So did you learn a lot of these tactics and ideas from the marketing that you did?
No. So it was just all trial and error through the business. Do you know what I mean? Like, what works for the company. Like, when I was a marketing apprentice, all I did was like photocopy and just deliver course guides everywhere and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
And is this your first business Donuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
First one.
Because I would have thought you would have tried, 5 different things
No,
and then
no.
finally found something.
No.
Would you ever do anything else other than donuts in terms of businesses?
Yeah. I really love the idea of business consulting. I love the idea of that. I don't think I have enough to add to someone's company yet. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. And now, like me stepping up as the CEO of Doughnotts, this is where I'm going to start learning how to run a company more efficiently and better. I'd like to be that guy that you send in to somewhere and be like, fix that. There's a problem with that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you do have to become really hard when you're running a business, and you want to please everyone, especially when you employ people. Well, you're right. Do you mind if you do swap your days around and stuff like that? And now I just carry a contract around with me wherever I go. If I go to the stores, and if they object, I just say, "Well, this is the contract, so you're obliged to. You've signed this. I've signed this. So if I need to change the rotor within 2 weeks, you said that's okay because you signed it. Do you know what I mean? If you didn't agree with it, you shouldn't have signed it. And that's not in a horrible way. That's in, if there's an emergency or something like that.
What's your biggest tips for managing staff?
A great manager just needs to ask if people are all right. That's it. Just go, "You're all right." That's things. Sit down with them, have a chat with them, have a coffee with them. Managers make someone. I always say it to my bakery manager Simon, who's amazing. He'll come in the morning and go, "Right, who wants coffee?" And he'll make the coffee. Whereas a lot of places they'd get the lowest paid person to make coffee and stuff. And it's about treating people fairly. And when you can do that, it's about treating people fairly, but also getting the job done. Do you know what I mean?
Because we're always so happy. Like my experience in Doughnotts has been great.
Yeah.
I go in smiling. How are you doing today?
Yeah.
Is that something you train people to do?
Yeah, I mean, we employ people basically on there. We employ the person and not what's on paper. Do you know what I mean? And stuff. Obviously, if there's bad stuff on the CV, we don't employ them. But you generally get a good feeling over someone. Do you know what I mean? Because it costs as much. It takes the same amount of energy to do a good job as it does a bad job. If a customer comes in, the minute we hear complaints about staff or customer service, it's really hard on us because we're known for good customer service.
Yeah.
We get so much feedback on it and stuff, and we don't ever want to diverge from that because it's like All Saints. Going All Saints, the customer service is amazing. It's fucking amazing. "You all right? How you doing? Can I get you anything?" Because you're there to spend money and it's expensive. You go in Zara, they don't even look at you when you're talking to them. They tell. They're there to. I was in there on Saturday and the guy was just talking to this girl and the queue was massive. Get the fucking queue down, mate. There's people coming up from all the different floors to come and she's like, "Fucking pay here."
Because we've all had bad experiences in shops and stores. We've all had good experiences.
Yeah.
So I think, so it's good the fact that you prioritize making a customer experience really good. But one question I've got, what is the long-term plan with Doughnotts?
Well, this is what I mean. Like, coming back to what we were saying about, when I first started, it was just, I think it was like last year, my mentor turned around and he was like, "What's your get out plan then?" I was like, "What do you mean get out plan? I'm going to do this for the rest of my life." I was like, "No, you don't want to do that." He was like, "You don't want to do that." I was like, "Don't know." And he kind of explained stuff and he was like, pick a number. I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Pick a number, what you want to sell it for." And I was like, "I don't know, 10 million quid. And he was like, "Well, then get to work then." And I was like, "Okay." And my goal is to get to one day where, someone cuts your check for 10 million quid. And if you're already making 2.5 million quid, you've just got to do that times 4. That's it. Because it's on the sale of a company, it's your EBITDA as well, how unique that company is and stuff. Because it does not matter what you've got in your bank. It really doesn't. It's what's on paper. That's all it is.
Because I'm almost looking at the numbers and saying, right, 2.7 in revenue. Obviously, I don't know the profit figures, but surely you can't be far off the 10 million valuation figure as it is.
No, so obviously last year, as we was in trouble, our EBITDA is like 8. So if we get to £1 million profit a year, we're at 8 million quid worth. And
when you say, what was that phrase you just said?
EBITDA.
Yeah, what is that?
It's your multiplier on your company. So they basically look at your profits, your uniqueness, your thingy in the market, your power in the market and stuff like that. And then you can go to a company like Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' and go, "Do you want to buy it?" And you'll say 8 million, and then Krispy Kreme will say 9 million, and then Dunkin' will say 10 million because they want to get you gone. They don't want you. They want to be market leaders and stuff. And I'm fine with that. Like I've grown up. Like I love donuts and I always will. But we're nothing without cash. And the reason we started it was for cash. So, you know what I mean?
I'm hoping you go on forever, so I
Yeah.
can keep having my cheat days.
Yeah. I mean, I think it will. I think it will be forever. I think that my goal is to sell it one day for 10 million quid. I'd like to take 5 million quid of that, and I've got the guy who sources all of our properties for us as well. Ollie, I'd just give him 5 million quid, and I'd go, just buy me as much commercial stuff as you can with this. Make me so I get paid 100 grand a year out of it. Have 5 mil in the bank, and then I just open a little donut shop somewhere, just a tiny one, just fresh every day. Just it'll do probably like a grand a day, 1,500 quid a day, and that's But then I know what'll happen. You go, fucking hell,
Let's go
this
again.
works. Let's open another one. Do you know what I
Or
mean?
you could just revert back to the cookies.
Yeah.
Because that would do just as well, I think.
Yeah. I think that anyone will buy anything if it's marketed properly. That's it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
are you not tempted? Because let's say, for example, if someone came to you now, Krispy Kremes came up to you right now, here's a check, Wade, 10 million, would you take it?
100%. Yeah.
Okay. So if anyone's watching, he's open to offers.
Yeah. 100%. I wouldn't. I'm never going to get that type of money. Like, the thing about the story about Doughnotts and about me personally is that you rewrite everything, your whole life, everything that my mentor talks about it, that we're disruptors. We go against the grain. We're not meant to be here. Do you know what I mean? We're not meant to be doing this, but we're doing it and it's working. And he was like, that's it with you. He says, you set out on life. Like, I'm from Clifton and I never wanted to be, and this is no disrespect to anyone from Clifton. My family lives in Clifton. I just wanted to be more than that. And I never wanted to I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just wanted to be somebody. That's it. And now I am. Like, you go Morrison's in Clifton or something to pick bits up for my mum, and people say hello to you and you'd never even met them before. Do you know what I mean? And stuff. And it's,
because I guess the other way to go about it would be, right, let's take it worldwide. And then let's make it to a massive company.
Yeah, there is that. But we have had talks with companies who can get us ingredients over, ship stuff over and things like that. But we're still a developing company. There's still moving parts that go wrong. Do you know what I mean? There's still things that, Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts, they've been at it for like 60 years. We're probably way more advanced than what they was. Do you know what I mean?
Because if you taste a Krispy Kreme donut, what's the other one? Krispy Kreme's. Yeah, you taste a Krispy Kreme's donut, Dunkin' Donut, and Doughnotts.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, 10 out of 10 people are choosing Doughnotts.
Yeah.
They don't taste that good.
Yeah. The thing is what Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts do is, because they've got loads of cash, they can go anywhere. They can open a shop wherever. That's why they're in service stations, because they just do, like, we're trying to. It's really hard as well. Like, people seeing the cost of our product, because our donuts are £3 and £4. They're not cheap. I get that,
but they're massive.
Yeah, but I can't make them for any less, or I can't sell them for any less. Like, the cost of everything going up, and flour used to be £11 a bag. Now my flour's £22 a bag, and when you're using 2 tons of it a week,
it's a lot of flour.
And a bag 16 kilos. It's you're getting through it, aren't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, we just do it. We every day's an adventure in it. You come into work and there's always something you got to fix, or putting out fires and stuff. But
that's it.
It just is what it is.
So Wade, what is your kind of short-term plan in order to grow Doughnotts?
So the plan is, obviously, we're opening 2 more sites this year, and then we're going to relax a little bit, iron out some problems and some creases, and I'm going to take a little bit of time off. I think I might go. My best mate lives in Dubai, so I might go and see him for a couple of weeks, and just kind of just relax a bit. But then, then I'll be back for winter, where it's a bit more busy for us and stuff like that. I don't ever want to be out of it. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to free up some cash so I can get into some property and stuff. But it's a hard market to get into. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's definitely a high barrier to entry into.
Yeah. But it's long term, innit? Do you know what I mean? And stuff like, my mortgage advisor was talking to me about it the other day, and she was like, if you've got 50k sat in your bank, it's not doing anything for you. So you may as well make £1 grand a month out of it by spending it on something. And I'm past the, I went through the phase of like cars, and I had a Ferrari and stuff and an R8, and I've gone past it now.
How old was you when you had the Ferrari?
That was last year.
Yeah.
It was last year, yeah.
So you was 30?
Yeah, 30. So I had that. So basically, I had that. I had the Ferrari and I had the RS6, and the truth behind it was that I basically, so my other director, we was together, we was engaged, and we broke up, and she left the company, and we was going through the buyout and stuff. And then all of a sudden, I just had this massive company to myself, and I was like, fucking hell. So I started paying myself loads. Went and got a Ferrari. You know, the fucking thing was 1,900 quid a month, and everything I did back then was for everyone else. Like, it was just it was just so everyone could look and go, fucking hell, he's got a Ferrari. Do you know what I mean? Wonder what he does. And then you're driving and you get home at night and you just fucking, you know, you still wage, you still go and have beans on toast for dinner. You're not, but you know what I mean? It's nothing. You think it puts you as a high caliber. Like, there's a lot of people. I've got amazing cars and stuff, like, and I respect it, and I will do again one day. But at the moment, it's just not for me. But then when I had the Ferrari and stuff, my house kept getting broken into, and my partner who I was with at the time, she had a daughter, and we were going to move in together, and she didn't feel safe. So then I sold my house, sold the cars, and just kind of like moved out and stuff, and got a little free bed now. Do you know what I mean?
So what's like the biggest learning lesson from that?
Just because there's money in a business account don't mean it's your money.
Okay.
You know, when you create a business, a limited company, you're basically creating a person, and that's where the money is. It's hard to not dip out, like, you know, $1,000 here, $2,000 here and stuff. You know, you want a new fucking Gucci bag, so you fucking go and have a bit of money out of it. As I've definitely got older, I've learned to value money more. And yeah, I'm just at a point now where I think the biggest learning lesson was just like I'm really trying to think before I speak, and it's so fucking hard because it's everything I'm against. You know, when you talk to someone, it's like, oh, fucking hell.
Because you're very outspoken on social media.
Yeah.
You know, you definitely share a lot, and you're very open, which I like, because
Yeah.
I think I'm similar.
Yeah.
So, in terms of, would you say this is true then? So, the more success that you've got through your company, would you say it's made you more frugal and, like, you know, more cautious about spending money the more success you've got?
Yeah, definitely. You know, because some stores and that don't produce as much as others. You think they're gonna, you know what I mean, but they don't, and that's okay. You know, you just value it more. Do you know what I mean? It's hard when you're on the come up because you start agreeing to stuff. You know, you join David Lloyd and it's 160 quid a month. And you're like, oh yeah, that's fine. Do you know what I mean? And oh, your phone contract's 120 quid a month. Oh yeah, that's fine. Do you know what I mean? And you sit there and go, like, my life, like, I live in a normal house. Like, my life alone, it's like $4,000 a month to survive, and that's crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I suppose if you think back to probably when I was younger, I never thought I'd kind of be in the position I am, and I'm not in as much as a great position as what people seem to think. And that people are always like, people seem to think that you've got like a mountain of cash, and it just comes and it comes and comes. Like, you don't see, like, you know, when one of the lads will crash the van, or, you know, a machine breaks, or your electricity bill's due and it's fucking 30 grand, or they leave the fucking electricity on overnight in the bakery. Fucking hell, do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah.
So, what's been like the best moment of Doughnotts so far?
Best moment. I think the best moment was probably. I can't tell you the best moment. I can tell you the best time.
Yeah, best time.
The best time was like 2015, starting out, and the graft, and you're knackered and you don't go to the gym, you don't see your mates, and you're fighting it, and you know, you just fucking working your ass off. That was probably the best time. Do you know what I mean? Because I never set out for it to be this big. Do you know what I mean? It's stuff like, unfortunately, with how the hospitality industry is now, you know, we sell a product for £3 and £4. You go to a restaurant and you'll spend 50 quid, 60 quid, like, you and your partner on a meal or something. Whereas it's volume. We have to sell tons of it. And that's what we're looking at now, going, how can we sell more? Do you know what I mean? Is it priced too high? Can we absorb more cost and stuff? But that was the best time, because you just didn't have a fucking clue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, what final message would you give to people that want to start their own business? What would be your key points to tell these people?
Don't write a business plan. Just don't. Just do it. Just crack on with it. Watch the Air Jordan film.
The Air Jordan
Watch the
film.
Air
That
Jordan
is good,
film.
isn't it? That's a good film.
It's amazing film, that is. You'll learn a lot from a bit about marketing and stuff. Just crack on with it. You know, if someone buys something off you, then there's someone else who's going to buy something off you. Do you know what I mean? Stick to what you want to do, product or service. Service businesses are amazing. Time, you sell time. Like, you know, my mentor charges himself out at like $5 grand a day, and I'm just like, what? Like, he was like, yeah, but I go in and I sort shit out, and I make companies loads of money. That's what I do. He's great. I mean, don't charge me because like, he loves me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've known him for years. But figure out what you want to do, product or service. Find something you like doing. Give yourself a time scale on it, and say that you're going to give it a go for this long. Ollie owns Oscar and Roses. He's got this like 10-year thing. They're closing right next week, but he was a lawyer for 10 years, and he's opened a restaurant for 10 years. And now he's like, what am I going to do for the next 10 years? And it's like, I'd love to have that, like, just no stress about it. Like, oh yeah, I'm closing my restaurant. It's just like, what? Like, are you not bothered? But yeah, he is, I guess. But just crack on with it. Yeah. Don't go to Prince's Trust. Don't do it like that. Everyone who goes to Prince's Trust never ends up opening a business because it's so overwhelming. You know, you'll find someone who's doing a business and just ask for a bit of advice. We give loads of advice out. Meg tonight's doing a talk at the university on business in front of like 300 students and stuff. And like, if you have a business degree, don't mean shit. Best businessmen and businesswomen are ones who don't have degrees.
Yeah, Wadey, thank you so much for coming on today. Appreciate it. If you want to check out Doughnotts, all of the links will be in the description, website, social medias. Wadey, thanks so much. And hopefully we can get you on again.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And guys, remember, like, comment, subscribe, share this video around, and drop a comment on this video because a random comment will be selected for a £100 cash giveaway to a random comment. So get commenting now.
Pick a couple up at the bakery if you want 1.9.
Yeah.
But yeah,
because I was thinking it would probably be very hard to like not eat the donuts because you're working there all the time and stuff.
Nah, I love it. Whenever we have meetings and that, we always put on like big spreads for everyone with donuts and stuff.
Yeah.
People don't generally have one anyway when they come into meetings, and they're a bit stodgy and big for if you have a big finance meeting or something, you don't want to be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So we're gonna go check out the store now then and see
it inside and stuff like that.
Okay.
Get some photos of some stuff and things like that.
So wait, who creates the flavors? Like, who chooses the, not designs, but the actual different flavors?
So it's, I've still got your finger.
Oh no, we're still,
do you need it?
Yeah, we're still filming, yeah.
We had, so these, obviously I create the flavors with Loz, our marketing manager.
Okay.
But now we're bringing in our bakery manager to do it and stuff like that as well. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, he's gonna get the thing on.
What's like the most popular flavour?
Red velvet and biscoff. They're the ones we sell most of.
Yeah.
We sell about 9,000 red velvets a month.
Fire.
I know, it's all good.
I think my favourites, it might be vanilla glazed.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Or the cookie one. The ones with the cookies on. Oh, is it here?
Yeah.
Sound.
Podcast. You're right. I don't know what to say. So this is how I count as a set out. Obviously our donuts are square, not round.
Yeah.
It's just better on production for us to cut square, and customer gets a bit more value for the money. We also do a Berliner, which is a wall donut. Okay. But a lot of them are vegan, so we've got Homement's vegan, cinnamon scroll vegan, glazed, jam, peanut butter and jelly, salted caramel. They're vegan. Biscoff's vegan. The party ring one is vegan, and yeah. So,
guys, I'm definitely gonna have to get some today because hey, these are looking so tasty, guys. This is my favorite one right here. Cookie one, yeah, for sure.
Yours is the flavour. I went into Nottingham on Saturday and it just didn't look nothing like this.
Yeah. And do you guys do coffee as well?
We do, yeah. Yeah, we do coffee. You can have like different coffees and stuff. It's like coffee machine job, isn't it? You know what I mean?
All right then, yeah, that's great. That's perfect, bro.